Ooh, a pretty sleek wireless headset without RGB. They are listening.
Who is listening?
The best part, it doesn't even connect to Razer Synapse.
Wow, this is a Razer headset?
Yep, the Barracuda X. So be honest with me, how surprised are you to see something like this to come out from Razer, right? So a massive departure from their traditional gamery, very blingy designs, whereas this thing has absolutely none of that and doesn't even connect to Razer Synapse. I find like there's gonna be a big chunk of gamers who want something that's simplified and doesn't look ridiculous if you wear it outside. From a price perspective, I feel like Razer is definitely being aggressive like they have been with their gaming peripherals in the past. At $99, the Barracuda X is competing directly against the Corsair HS70 Pro. I feel like it's even stepping on the toes of Logitech G733, which is slightly more expensive, or even the headset that I've been using on my desk for a very long time, the Cloud 2 Wireless, which is fantastic in its wireless space, but it's also $40 more expensive than the Barracuda X. If we step up that price tier, we have Razer's own Black Shark V2 Pro Wireless and Corsair Virtuoso Wireless XT, which is very expensive, and even the ROG Strix 2.4 Go. So what I'm interested to know is, where does the Barracuda X fit in that wireless stack, not just from a price perspective, but from a sound quality perspective, microphone quality perspective, and some of the features as well. I'll be talking about all that, plus some deceiving things that the Razer is trying to pull that you should be aware of right after this.
The Be Quiet Shadow Rock 3. It won't block your memory thanks to the offset construction. It will not sound like a hurricane thanks to the Quiet Shadow Wings 2 fan. It will give you a peace of mind with exceptional cooling, easy installation, and the interesting bicolor design. Check it out below.
Let's talk about that 4-in-1 connectivity, shall we? Normally, when you see like 3-in-1 connectivity on a wireless device, that means 2.4 GHz, Bluetooth, and wired mode. Whereas here, it doesn't have Bluetooth, okay? So it means it's compatible with a PC, PS4, Switch, and Android. That's the 4-in-1 functionality, which by that token, all my analog headsets are like 1001 compatible because of how many devices I can plug the 3.5mm jack into. It has no Bluetooth functionality, so be aware of that. But on the flip side, it's a plug-and-play solution, so that's kind of awesome, where you don't have to deal with Razer Synapse, which to some is a huge positive. To others, you know, the fact that we have no EQ controls, no microphone side tone adjustment, no microphone quality adjustment. But all in all, I feel like the plug-and-play functionality for Barracuda X is the right decision forward. Plus, the Barracuda X implies their budget variation. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna be not long before we see something that is maybe the Barracuda Pro or the Barracuda V2, something that is maybe USB powered, that has all the fancy bling RGB, but we'll see. Let's talk about design for a second, and in simple terms, I love it. It has that slight similarity of the ear cup design to the Opus headset, but of course the Barracuda X is larger and is totally different gut-wise. It's an all-plastic body with metal size extensions, and as you can hear, absolutely no creaking, even with the ear cup rotation, and when I'm aggressively trying to flex this thing on camera. We have the Razer text on the headband and on each side of the ear cup. The best thing about the headset for me is the weight at 250 grams. That's exactly what you want in a wireless pair. They simply disappear on your head. The clamping force is just right, but the headband padding is a little thin, which is not an issue since most of the weight is being supported by the ear cups with a little bit of the headband, but still I have absolutely no pressure accumulation on top. A quick word about the Earpads. So they're memory foam, but the lower tier kind where they don't bounce back as slow as proper memory foam. So they still conform to your ears and they provide some isolation, but the surface material is a bit harsh, and if you do move your head around and the headset also wiggles around on your head, you will have some of that skin versus surface contact noise. As for the interior of the ear cup, the material is very thin. I can feel that plastic shell right behind it. Fortunately, it is angled, so my ears do not make contact, even though I have different size ears, and usually my big one does make contact with many other headsets. Here, it does not. Love it. My only complaint with comfort is the rotation of the ear cups. I find they're rotating the wrong way, facing you, giving you a bit of a choking hazard. I find the headsets that rotate inwards to be a lot more comfortable to wear when they're on your neck. All of the headset controls are on the left ear cup with the mic mute button that is easy to reach and find, a volume wheel that is for the headset volume, so you will need to adjust your device volume separately. We have a power button with an LED right underneath so you know when it's powered on. It also acts as your media functionality, so play, pause, skipping tracks, answering phone calls. We have an analog input to use this headset in wired mode, a USB-C port for charging only, it does not pass data, and finally there's the mic input since the microphone is removable.
What you're hearing now is that recorded by the Razer Barracuda X. I had to up the limit on the microphone level inside Windows. It was set to 75 for some reason. It's now at 100. So let me know what you think about the quality. One thing they did mention was based on my long-term review of the Blackshark V2X headset, which you can check out over here, is that the microphone arm on that headset for me became loose over time, and they've actually stiffened it here. So based on their testing over long term, that should not happen with the Barracuda X. I appreciate that. Next up is the Blackshark V2 Pro. This is a much more expensive wireless headset, but between the two microphones, let me know which one sounds best to you. Then we have the HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. This is a headset that's been on my gaming desk because I love the wireless convenience. And microphone quality doesn't sound so good, but I have never gotten a complaint, and as long as people can hear me, and I'm not like sounding like I'm muffled below the ocean, I'm okay. Next up is the Logitech G733 from Logitech. To my ears, I prefer this one the least in terms of microphone quality, but it's still like with the HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless, it's totally passable, and you won't get kicked out or muted for talking like this. And finally, here's the Corsair HS70, not the Pro version, but in terms of the microphones, I think they might sound identical. So in the $99 wireless space, this is what you can expect.
As far as accessories, we have that 3.5mm audio cable for wired use, USB-A to USB-C charging cable, USB-A to USB-C extender for that USB-C dongle. And to be honest, this thing is a bit controversial because of its shape. Razer says that they had to do it because of internal components and best wireless connectivity, but it's inconvenient, especially when you're using it with a notebook. As you can see, it's blocking 2 ports right beside it. I'm sure it will block a few things on a traditional motherboard as well. It's a good thing that we have that USB-C to USB-A extender, so you can plug this in and not have to worry about any of the USB port blocking, but still, it is an issue. Now, the thing is, there's no dongle compartment on the headset, but not to worry, you can do 2 things. Number 1, you can stash the dongle inside the ear cup and it stays put, no problem. Or if you want more security, you can plug it into the USB-C port on the headset. In doing so, you do block the microphone input, but not to worry, you can just stash the microphone inside the ear cups, just like so. Now, since there's no Razer Synapse, you don't have to install anything. It's a plug and play. That's fantastic. But also, there's no way to precisely check your battery status, which I appreciate with wireless headsets. So here, the headset is rated for 20 hours of continuous usage with sleep functionality enabled after 15 minutes of inactivity. And the only way to know your battery status is when the LED at the bottom will turn red and will start blinking red when you're below 10%. And that's when you have to recharge. So a bit inconvenient, but at least we have some indication on when we drop below 30%. Now, what can we expect for the audio performance? So these 40mm drivers are tuned similarly to what you can expect to hear from the Blackshark series, and I really like that sound signature. It's leading towards the neutral and balanced tones, so no overemphasized bass. In fact, it's a bit kind of the opposite, kind of sounding a bit on the flatter side, but also absolutely no harshness on the high end, which is amazing. So you can blast the volume around 80%. This is kind of where I would maximum go because this thing has a lot of power behind it, which is awesome. And if you've played Escape from Tarkov and wearing contacts and are brushing through bushes, you know some gaming headsets can deliver really harsh, bleeding ears after that. Thankfully, we don't have any of that with the Barracuda X. It's smooth, and I like it. The soundstage here is very closed. If you're expecting to have that audio representation in front of you, the stereo imaging is fine, but in terms of the expansion, it's not here, which is fine, you know, to give you exact direction of your audio cues in Escape from Tarkov, in CSGO, and anywhere where audio will give you an important competitive advantage. Basically, for $99, I am happy with this wireless delivery. Even the resolution seems to be pretty good. The only difference between like my Cloud 2 wireless is that the HyperX headset has better isolation, so you're really in the zone, whereas here the Earpads are slightly more open. As for the wireless range, it's slightly worse than my Cloud 2 wireless, so 6 meters and a few walls in between, while I'm using the dongle with the extender, so not going directly into the computer. I am experiencing a few drops here and there, versus my HyperX headset, absolutely solid connection. So what to say? I feel like the Barracuda X is a winner for $99, being wireless, being low profile, no drivers needed, so a plug-and-play solution. The USB-C extender thing, you know, that's a little bit of a compromise there, but still, you do get better signal by plugging in the USB dongle slightly away from your computer, so I guess that's a positive. The microphone here is passable. It does not sound as good as what you can expect from a wired Black Shark V2X, but the Barracuda X still holds its ground, being a more mobile focused headset. And that is where the Barracuda X separates itself from the rest of Razer's wireless options, like the Inari Essential, the Black Shark V2 Pro. All those headsets are desktop only, whereas here you have that mobility factor because of that USB-C dongle. So if you are looking for a decent wireless contender in the gaming space, the Barracuda X, definitely check it out. It doesn't look gamery, low profile. 20-hour battery life is, I would say, is totally passable, and the whole plug-and-play solution is definitely a positive, and definitely a departure from Razer's usual, right? I'm Dmitry, thanks so much for watching. Check out this other relevant content, subscribe for more. I'll talk to you in the next video.